Hi, today I want to talk about something very important. So basically, it's this notion that when you have a problem, let's say you're programming, and there's this problem that you've been at for a few hours, maybe 3, 4 hours, and you can't quite get it done. So the tendency is to just be googling and just be cracking at it. So it's like the harder you crack at this problem, the simpler it's gonna get. So I'll soon solve it. So let me just keep looking at it. So just stop, okay? Sometimes just being at the keyboard or looking at your code editor isn't the solution. It might sound like a cliche or opposite of what you should be hearing, but actually it isn't. Sometimes you just have to step away from the computer and just put away the text editor, pick up a notepad and a pen. Just get back to the basics. Okay, so the reason why I decided to talk on this is there are certain days wherein I have had a problem, and sitting at the computer in front of the code editor didn't help me actually I'll have to do it there eventually, but it didn't help me come up with a solution. So I just went back to the drawing board, pick up a book and a pencil or a pen, and just started writing down an algorithm. So the algorithm could be in code or just plain English. So let's just use this example. Let's say you want to write a chat application. So there are different parts of a chat application, but let's just say there's this part that has to deal with sending messages to a server. So you have been trying to do that. You looked at jQuery sources, but you're not sure exactly what to do. So just pick up a pen and a paper, break it down into parts, and the parts don't have to be in code, but that's just so that when you're writing it in code, you only focus on one step at a time. And whilst you're in front of the text editor, there's a lot that can distract you. You want to do this and you just look at this part of code and you say, oh my god, what's going to happen? I don't want to know what to do. It's all confusing. So focusing on a piece of paper, I don't know what it is about a piece of paper, but it just helps you focus. I know it helped me, so I hope it does work for you as well. So back to the chat application. Let's say you want to send a message to a server. So I have broken it down into these basic steps. So make sure that you identify what you want to do. In this case, say for example, I want to, and just fill in the blanks with what you want to do. So in this case, I want to send a message to a server side. So you have an HTML page and you want to send message from that page. For example, when a user submits a form, you want to send it to some server. Let's say the server is written in PHP or in Ruby on Rails. Ruby on Rails is not a language, but the language is Ruby. But you get the idea. So to some server side. So first, I broke it down into these 6 points. First thing you probably need to do in sending a message to a server is create a variable or get the message. So you want to, for example, I'm assuming using JavaScript, so you want to get the message first. So that's step number 1. And step number 2 is get the URL to the server. The URL you want to use to send the message to the server. Get that URL. That's step number 2. Step number 3, serialize the message, because when you're sending messages using JavaScript, you normally want to serialize it and maybe put it in some string form, because normally it's an object, so you want to put it in some string form. And fourth, you want to set the receiving user's username. So you want to send it to a server, but if you send it to the server, who do you want to receive it on the other end? That's in a chat application. Of course, you're chatting with someone, so someone has to receive the message. So step number 5 is set message headers. This is optional, but normally when you're sending stuff to using Ajax to a server, you may or may not set a header, but I just included it here in case. And that's step number 5. Step number 6 is actually sending the message. So what method do you need to call? Is it $.ajax or $.ajax setup or something, or $.send, whatever it is? So these 6 steps, I am sure maybe there are other intermediary steps, but just the basic idea is just break down a one big problem into smaller problems. So you may have thought initially when I said send a message to a server, you may be like, oh okay, this is so simple, it's just like I'll set up jQuery Ajax. But by breaking it down into these steps, at least let's say you've been interrupted midway, you know where you are, you know what step you've been. So when you come back, you won't have to redo everything you've done before. You just say, okay, I've just stopped at step 3, so I'll just continue from step 3. That's the basic idea. Pick up a pen and a paper and start from the drawing board from scratch. So that's it for this video. I hope to see you soon next Sunday. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.